If you have Beetles nail polish or are planning on using it, don't.
So I tried this set about a week ago. I'm using only Beetles gel, and I haven't had any problems yet. I've been doing my own nails for months using only Beetles gel.
I used a gel polish on myself, and now I have kind of a severe chemical burn.
You see how I do my nails? It's very elegant. I don't do too much. I don't go too crazy. I don't do too long. Very demure.
I'm gonna do it. Stop hiding. You hide forever. Ricky, when I catch you, Ricky. Ricky, when I catch you, Ricky. Ricky, when I catch you, Ricky.
Of course, it was the Beetles gel glue.
No brand truly gets people quite riled up, whether in support or against, like Beetles gel polish. Beetles, for me, is the brand that started this whole entire journey, and it is about to be my 1-year anniversary of my allergy, and what better time to make this video than now. I am still recovering from a cold, so you'll have to excuse my nasal voice, but this just could not wait any longer, because the time has come to settle the Beetles debate. Now, I don't typically do this, but the first thing that I want to start this video off with is by addressing this comment that I have repeatedly gotten on my videos from this person, and I don't think they have any ill intent, but I did want to address it. So the comment says, I would love to see where you think this is all going, except for maybe you're getting a bunch of ratings. I take it you didn't listen to the professional videos on those teaching nail technicians I offered to you. Not sure what videos were sent to me. I didn't receive anything, but feel free to. I pray Beetles doesn't get you fired, Slander. So I want to just clarify that for something to be slander, it has to be a lie. Please talk to an attorney. I am a real person with a very caring heart, not a hater. I've just tried to being the truth to bring, I guess, the truth to you, that there is no one that can legally get away with testing these materials for you to fight against them. Yes, you can definitely pay someone to legally test chemical materials. Moving on, if they do test them, please call an attorney before you get yourself in something you evidently don't understand. I have a pretty good understanding. A company attorney could ruin you financially filing a slander suit, a defamation of character lawsuit. They have the right to sell this just like all the other companies. I don't understand why you're voicing one company out like this. I'm not. I have made videos on other companies, most recently Venalisa, who was caught lying on their marketing and their packaging. And instead of suing me for slander, because I had evidence that it was all true, they just quietly removed HPMA free from their marketing. Please call an attorney. We have freedom of speech in the US, but when we cost companies sales for nothing, they can retaliate. Just like you could if someone slandered your good name with no legal rights. If someone slandered my good name and everything they were saying about me was true, I would have absolutely no ground to stand on. Take care. All I'm going to say, ratings are worth a slander or defamation suit. So, like I said, in order for something to be slanderous, it has to be a lie. So let's look at the facts. So, in order for me to not get sued for slander, I am just going to state right now that everything I am saying is just my own experience. Everything is alleged. So let's look at the facts, right? Fact, I have been doing my nails with no problems for 14 years. I used Beetles UV glue one time on my left hand. Fact. I then immediately reacted the next day only on my left hand. Fact. I then continued to react mostly on my left hand until after about the 4th reaction when it spread to my right. Also fact. So make of that what you will. I am not claiming that that is the sole reason I got my allergy, but when you look at the evidence and the facts all together, it seems likely, allegedly. I also want to address the ratings comment because this person has called me out twice for trying to get ratings off of slandering Beetles' good name. I have a full-time career and I love my career. I have never planned on leaving it. I don't care if I become a super famous YouTuber with 1 million subscribers. I am not exiting my career because I am blessed to be in a position of doing something that I truly, truly love. So I could not care less about the ratings. I say that with all sincerity. I don't give a rat's behind. I want the truth. I want for what happened to me to never happen to anybody else. And at the end of the day, I have nothing against Beetles as a company. I don't know who these people are. I don't know who even owns them. And apparently they don't even know who owns them because there's a ton of legal disputes, but we will get into that later on. So if Beetles were to come to me and say, we want to do better, I will be the first in line to buy and promote their products if they truly can come up with something that is affordable and that is mostly safe, or at least a lot safer than what they currently have. And no, their HEMA free line is not it, because I can't even find anything on that line, but I am willing to bet anything that it is completely full of HPMA, allegedly. So anyway, people can say all they want that it's all in the application and it's all misuse and blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, it is absolutely my fault that I got the allergy. I never, ever should have put that stuff on my nails, and I knew better and I did it anyway. And I blame myself every single day, and I will continue to blame myself every single day. But we cannot continue to use that as an excuse to let these companies get away with making crappy formulations, selling it and marketing it to beginners who don't know what they're doing and are going to flood and get it all over their hands, and propagating this allergy epidemic. So Beetles is welcome to come for me if they want to. I am right here because nothing I have said is slanderous or a lie, and we are going to get into why. All right, let's dive right in. So this is the Beetles Gel Polish website. And in order to get to this screen, because you can't find it just from Google, it takes you to this one, which is blank. You have to go to their website and search SDS. And somebody actually told me how to do this. So thank you to that subscriber for helping me locate these. You will see that Beetles, although they have an insane amount of product lines, there are 4 SDSs. Obviously, the one I am primarily interested in, which is the UV glue, is not here. Their cat eyes are not here, and those tend to be pretty high in monomer count. Almost every other product is not here, but I am appreciative of what they did give us. So let's take a look at the base gel. This is the most important one because it's going to have direct contact with your nail plate unless you are using the UV glue. Somebody actually just put out something recently, which was perfect timing, and I will put it here and also link it below, which is how to spot a fake SDS. For starters, a generic product name just has base gel, doesn't have the brand. And to show you what I'm talking about, this is the P+ SDS for Light Elegance, and you can see here a product name, Light Elegance P+ Base Coat. Very clearly states what it is. This is a generic name, so that's already giving an iffy on the validity of this data sheet. They call it an MSDS. I think the term changed to just SDS back in 2016. Now here is where things get a little interesting, right? So you have details of the supplier is Beetles Gel Polish, 1384 Pompton Avenue. Stand by. All right, folks, does this look like a lab to you? Just wondering, does that look like a lab? I don't think so. There's something here. Is that like a hazardous waste bin? Nope, just a regular trash can. That's the Beetles lab. Beetles is supposed to be a subsidiary or a trade name for a company called Gelab Cosmetics. It says Gelab Cosmetics was a New Jersey-based company and that they're no longer active. I looked in the New Jersey Secretary of State, but they are one of those states that makes it impossible to find business registration details. So it is unknown whether they are still an active company or not, but according to Google, they have been permanently closed. In 2022, Gelab Cosmetics filed a lawsuit against the Chinese supplier. They actually ended up taking this all the way to the Supreme Court because when they took this to District and Superior Court, it was denied. If you want to read this super long petition, by all means, but basically they are alleging that their Chinese supplier took their formula and used it to make their own products that they were then selling at a cheaper discount. I'm assuming those products that we find on Temu, Shein, etc. And so yeah, that's a little about the company. But other than this, we literally know pretty much nothing about where these products come from other than clearly there is a Chinese supplier. They claim to be made in the US, but where? Because this lab is clearly permanently closed and this is not giving cosmetic lab to me. I don't know, maybe I could be wrong. You let me know. So anyway, that's that about the SDS. I'm not going to get into whether I believe this is a legitimate SDS or not. We are going to take this at face value as to the ingredients that I am seeing here. All right, these are all about in the same concentration percentage. Something that gets complained a lot about with Beetles is chemical burns and thermal burns and just having just gnarly, like black looking spots on their nails.
1, 2, here we go, 3.
I used a gel polish on myself, and now I have kind of a severe chemical burn under my fingernails, and I want to warn you guys about it. This Beetles kit. It was overnighted by Amazon, whatever. It was here quick, and I was like, sick, let me get my like nails put back together. But I didn't do a whole lot of research beforehand, and I should have read the reviews on Amazon before I even ordered the stupid kit. So essentially, the kit comes with a base gel, a top coat, and a bunch of other colored polishes. It's all gel polish, all has to be cured with a UV light. They send a UV light with it, and the timer on this is 60 seconds.
The first thing we see here is cellulose acetate butyrate. It is a thermoplastic, usually used in coatings, plastics, and automotive parts because of clarity, gloss, and abrasion resistance. All right, and that is in 20 to 30% concentration. Moving on, we now have isobornyl acrylate. It is not the worst of the acrylates, but it is still a monomer. It has a slightly different structure from HEMA to where it has kind of like a ring structure. So it is slightly less allergenic than HEMA is, but it is still a monomer. Then we have aliphatic urethane acrylates. This is basically a binder to improve the hardness and scratch resistance of a coating. Now, aliphatic urethane acrylate, this is something that I have seen in several other nail products being used. It's pretty common. It can lead to contact dermatitis. I don't think it's as allergenic as HEMA is. There are studies done where workers who were exposed to urethane acrylates did end up with pretty severe contact dermatitis. If you want to read the study, it's from the National Institute of Health. And then, of course, hydroxyethyl methacrylate, HEMA, 10 to 15%. At face value, this is an acceptable level if it wasn't paired with such a high monomer content of everything else. Usually you want to keep your HEMA under 15%. And then we have trimethylpropane triacrylate, 10 to 15%, another acrylate. Again, alone, these ingredients seem okay and their concentrations seem okay. But where we get into the real issue is here, trimethylbenzoyl diphenylphosphine oxide. This is the photo-initiator, and you will see here the concentration of that is 0 to 0.075. That is basically non-existent. So I asked Google Gemini why this was a problem. The combination of the low photo-initiator level and the high monomer content in this base gel formulation raises concerns about whether the product can fully cure, especially if the lamp power or curing time is insufficient.
A UV light with it.
Now, do y'all honestly believe those cheap little Beetles gel lamps are fully curing something with 60%, over 60% combined monomer content and non-existent photo-initiator? Since this product contains a high amount of these known synthesizers, the potential consequences of undercuring are significant. Okay? So there you have it, folks. Assuming that this is the true SDS for their base coat, it is still incredibly problematic. Again, it's not only about the HEMA content. You have to look at the formulation as a whole. Let's look at their gel color. This one saying it's coming from Gelab Cosmetics, a company that is non-existent. And the address listed there is the one that is listed here for this building. I'd be more inclined to believe that this could be a lab. But either way, it's been shut down since 2022. So where the heck are they making it now? Who the heck knows? The contact information for the company doesn't exist. Like, what even is Annie US? No idea. All right, so moving on from that, we're going to get into the formula. Very similar to the base gel, except this one has even less photo-initiator, 0 to 0.065%. Folks, that is literally not existent. We're not talking 0.65, it's 0.065. That's not even 1%. So anywho, I rest my case. Now let's take a look at Apres, a professional brand. This is their base gel coat X, methacrylic acid resin, 46%. Here we have HEMA in 24%, and I don't love that, but look at the photo-initiator, 20%. So they are making up for the fact that they have such a high monomer content by making a formula that will actually cure properly. And this is what I'm talking about when people always come for me, or for anybody who talks about allergies and says, HEMA's not the enemy, HEMA's not the enemy. Yes and no. HEMA is the most allergenic monomer because of how small, such an itty bitty little molecule. It is the smallest monomer, and that's why it's so allergenic, because it's easier for it to penetrate the skin. I have been using HEMA for the past 14 years with no issue. So the enemy isn't necessarily HEMA, it's the fact that HEMA is being added to formulas that already have extremely high monomer content and very little photo-initiator. So this is why you can't just say, oh, the product is HEMA free, it's okay, it's good to go, it's hypoallergenic. No, because then they're using other monomers like hydroxypropyl methacrylate, which is almost as allergenic as HEMA and actually gives me a worse reaction. So you're substituting HEMA for these other allergenic monomers while still maintaining a crappy formula that doesn't cure properly. And so I rest my case, and I did not have to use any slander or any assumptions. I used Beetles' own SDS sheet that they put on their website and just basic chemistry to settle the debate once and for all that Beetles is problematic and that it doesn't matter if you use it correctly, because the product is very unlikely that is going to cure, especially with any cheap lamp. Even if it doesn't happen right away, over time, you will become sensitized to this stuff, allegedly. So anywho, there it is. And I do still plan on, I have reached out to a couple universities in my area. Thankfully, there are a lot here, to see if any chemistry department can help me with an independent test of Beetles UV glue. That is the product I am truly the most interested in seeing the formulation for, and not just because it's the one that gave me an allergy, but because it has the worst reviews on Amazon and has been known to be the worst product that Beetles has, and because you have to use so much of it for a full cover tip. Even though when I got my allergy, I only used it to apply a half tip. So anyway, I hope this finally settles the debate once and for all. Anytime part of the Beetles cult comes for you and tells you that you're full of it and then it's not the product, it's the application, yada yada, now you have something to send them. And I will still be pursuing the independent testing, and of course I will keep you guys updated if I do find anything more. Beetles, if you are watching this, I am more than open to working with you to creating an actually safe product and stopping the allergy epidemic. My DMs are open on TikTok, Instagram, it's Snail Narrative on all platforms, and I would look forward to collaborating with you, creating affordable beauty and a better product for everyone. But there is one thing that I need to say, not just to Beetles, but to everyone watching this. I will never stop searching for the truth and for safer alternatives and for the end to the nail allergy epidemic. So that is all I have for today. Thank you all for hanging out with me. If you aren't already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I look forward to hearing what you think of all this, or if you've done your own research and have anything else you'd like me to add. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Stay safe.